Everybody okay? Coming through clear? Okay. So really hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Hope you enjoyed the food and the drinks. We got a really cool night ahead of us. First off, just thanks for coming. I know there's a lot of other things you could be doing, but hopefully we're going to make it worth your time. Tonight we have a great speaker. He's going to be speaking on why own a practice, Charles Loretto. You guys are going to love him. He really lays it out, just so simple and easy for us to understand. But before we get into that, I wanted to kind of give a little intro for those individuals who maybe were still unsure about what SDBO was, the benefits of SDBO, and kind of what our whole mantra is about here. So first off, just let me do like a quick little where everybody's at. Who in tonight plans on owning at some point in your life? Just raise your hand. Great. Okay, who's unsure? It's okay if you're unsure. There we go. Everybody? Cool. Well, just so you guys understand, you know, SDBO really is about, at some point, helping you get into ownership, whether that's partnership or sole proprietorship or whatever it may be for you. But we also understand that there's just some realities of our situation, that when you get out, you're probably going to have some debt. You may lack confidence. You may want to go out and work for somebody for a couple of years to do that. And that's completely understandable. I mean, that makes sense to do that. However, you know, hopefully SDBO can kind of, after those 3, maybe 4 years of you working, help you kind of look up and go, you know, but do I really want to work for somebody the rest of my life? Or is there something else for me? Do I want to venture out? And so SDBO really can become a very safe, cheap way for you to kind of open that window and go, what does it look like to own a practice? What does it take? What's involved? You know? And whatever year you are, the takeaway today is it's not too late. It's not too late to start learning, to start understanding a little more about what's possible in owning a practice. And that's really what we hope SDBO will bring to everybody. That at the end of your 4 years, if you've been an SDBO member for all 4 years, you're either checking that box of, I absolutely want to own, or I know for sure now that this is just not for me. And we would much rather you have that due diligence behind you to say, I know what it takes, I know what's involved, but I don't want anything to do with it. Okay? So without further ado, our team would like for you to come up. We're just going to do a quick little intro for those individuals so everybody can just see their face, see their role. And so yeah, team, come on up. And I guess we could just go this way. Alrighty, so I'm going to pass the mic off to the man with the roller and let him take it away.
Here we go. Hey, everybody. My name's Leif Rasmussen. I'm the vice president of SDBO. So my role is pretty much, I'd say, sprinting behind Ryan and keeping up with him, leading this organization. But right now I'm cruising on this thing for another 2 weeks. But just a quick little background about me. I worked in corporate America sales for 5 years, and I was really sick of selling a product that I didn't provide myself. And so I'm excited to be a part of the greatest industry in the world, selling a product that we're going to be proud of. So, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm a D2 Mitch Rush. I'm the welcome committee, and I'm going to be getting you guys your books and your t-shirts and getting you guys, anybody who signs up, set up to be a part of the group.
My name is Mike Scanchi. I'm a D3, and I work with fundraising.
My name is Christian Tria. I'm a D3, and I'm the secretary.
My name is Brian Gibbs. I'm a D3, and I'm the chief event coordinator.
My name is Rob Hardell. I'm a D4, and I was the treasurer, but now I'm the D4 consultant.
Hey guys, my name is Reed O'Hearn. I am now the treasurer.
Hi, I'm Emily Sklar. I'm a D3 and I'm social media chair. So emails, any posts on GroupMe or Instagram, Facebook come from me.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Gosnell. I'm a D4. I'm the alumni transition. So basically your 4th year, we can help you find jobs and introduce you to businesses and companies that might make the transition easier, help you make those connections that you might need.
So yeah, that's our team. Yeah, definitely give them a hand. They're rock stars. We got an A team for sure this year. And So yeah, we'll get right into it. Just a little bit of an intro of kind of who we are, what we're about, what we're going to be doing this year, who's coming to speak to us, and yeah. So who is SDBO? SDBO is a non-for-profit student organization. We've basically modeled ourselves very similar to ASDA and kind of how they run things, and we think ASDA's done a great job, and we have no reason to recreate the wheel. So we've really kind of used that as a format, and within that, we're seeking to help dental students gain knowledge, education, resources, basically to help them transition at some point in their life into full-time ownership or partnership. So why this matters? What we've seen over the last 4 years, and in talking with Friend, there's kind of three groups that come to dental school. And the first group are people who absolutely know they want to own. This profile person is basically the individual who has somebody in their family already that is practicing. Skanch is a perfect example of this. His family is immersed in private practice ownership, and you would never convince him otherwise. And so he's not even questioning whether he's going to own. He's seen it happen. He knows the benefits of it, and that's what he's doing. So you have that percentage of people. You have the other percent of people, 10%, who they don't even know if they want to be in dental school, honestly. So there's a lot of feelings happening for these individuals, and they don't know. They're kind of like, I don't even know if I want to do this. So those are the individuals that come in, and that's where they find themselves, and that's okay. That's where you're at. Be where you're at. The other 80% we think are people who are really kind of in the shuffle. They're neither here nor there. You could convince them otherwise. They're really open to anything. And this is where I believe SDBO has a sweet spot. Because if you want to know what it takes and what's involved in owning a private practice, this is the absolute ticket for you to understand what's involved and to be able, like I said earlier, to walk away your fourth year saying, I absolutely want to do this, and I'm way better off now than I would have been had I not done anything. And I have resources in my hand, I have connections, I know people that I need to talk to get things moving if I am interested in an area, and SDBO hopes to be that resource that literally just projects everybody into their future. And if I had one goal for SDBO for everybody, it is literally suck the life out of this and use it to whatever way you can use it to benefit you in the future. I think every one of us should do that. There's so much potential here for us to meet people and grow and educate ourselves that hopefully you can find some way for yourself to be beneficial more than you would have had you done nothing. So here's the big question for what does membership include? And membership, we believe, even just from a food voucher, I hope you guys enjoyed the food tonight. I mean, just the $80 makes sense. I mean, even if you just come to 4 meetings, you've made your money back, basically. And just from food alone. And I hope you enjoyed the food. So, did you guys enjoy the food? Great. What was that? Oh, that pudding is fire, isn't it? Yeah. It is. So we have 10 events throughout the year, and I'll have the 10 events of just kind of walking through that and what it looks like. They're once a month, and they're on a Thursday night, just like tonight. Okay, it's going to be the exact same layout. We will be here again, and this is how it goes for the year, or at least for the fall. If we get bigger, we'll have to figure something else out. But that'd be a good problem. Obviously, with SDBO, you get a T-shirt, and my man Mike Skanch, he's handling that one. And if you guys haven't noticed, he's pretty swanky, so he's gonna be all right. We're gonna have it good. You get a book. You get a book with this, and I want to kind of lay out why the books are the way they are. So the thought behind the books is that we understand that some people come with a little bit of business acumen, and then some have nothing. Like you've never taken one business class ever. So the books hopefully will build upon themselves for everybody. Now, you may be way ahead, and that's okay. You've probably already read these if you're way ahead. But for the people who are the 80% that are neither here nor there, don't really know, we believe these books build upon themselves. So the first one, The Pillars of Dental Success, that's by Mark Costas. It is a very broad overview of what dental business looks like. It kind of paints the picture for you, and we think it's a great foundation to build on. The second book is By the Numbers, and it is a deep dive into the P&L, which you'll learn these business terms. P&L is profit and loss. So it's going to dive in looking at ratios, margins, understanding if you're good or not good on your numbers, and being able to look at that and say, do we need to pick up our game, fix something, or are we in a really good sweet spot? And again, it just takes a little bit of a deeper dive. Titans of Dentistry, this is basically a book that the individuals that did it went and talked with people who were just wildly successful in dental practice ownership and wanted to ask them, what did you do different? How did you do this? What was it that made you have a differentiator between other people? Why were you on the very end of the bell curve and not right in the middle of it? So it's a really good resource. And the last one, 4-Hour Work Week. This may change, honestly. It's probably going to become a leadership book because you're going to be leading a team at some point, and you need to be able to communicate well. You need to be able to make sure everybody's on the same page, be assertive. So 4-Hour Work Week is more of a opening your eyes to the picture of what you setting your goals first and what you want your life to look like, and then managing your life according to that and your practice to that. I'm sure many of you have basically heard like, oh, you sure you want to own a practice, you're going to be married to it and this, that, and the other, you're never going to have vacations. Like, I don't know about you guys, but that is not the practice I'm going to be owning. Like, absolutely not. And I think for people who don't know what they're doing, it does become a marriage, a very bad marriage, honestly, and something they should have maybe considered from a business perspective before getting into it. But, it's never too late to learn. I think a lot of those people do seek help and get consultants in and try to fix where maybe they tried to do their own thing for a while and didn't know. And there's nothing better than being humble and saying, I don't understand. So the next one is demographic member discount. This member discount, I'm not sure, who's familiar with demographics? Okay. So what demographics is basically it's a resource online that if you're interested in a certain area of either owning a practice or a partnership, you can go to those areas and basically get a very detailed business perspective filter on the area. How many general dentists are there, ortho, peds, all the layout of that, how many people are in the town or the city in the area, what's the family income levels, anything you would want to know about a city to basically say, is this a place where I could see a practice thriving or not, or is it way too saturated? You can make a lot of decisions based off it. And so this is a really sweet discount. I mean, it's $99 per month, and we get it for $15 for the year. So, and it is optional. You don't have to do it, but it's a resource we have that if you're at that place and you want to check out some different spots, you can do it. And it's only $15. The next one is TOP Academy. So we had around 30 people do TOP Academy last year. Who's familiar with the TOP podcast? Do you guys listen to this? Okay, if you haven't, you probably should get onto it. Also, NDP Transitions podcast, very good podcast. Basically, TOP Academy is it's a way for people who are very serious in owning a practice and they really want to take a much deeper dive in what it takes to own a practice. If you're a D1 or a D2, I would say if you're a go-getter and you're like, I'm absolutely going to own, I would say the sooner the better for you. Do it. Like, you might as well do it. You're already convinced. You just go ahead and do this resource. And it's not just like, how to run the practice. It's how to talk to patients. It's how to get case acceptance. It's they talk about real estate. It goes into a very almost like untapped part of a practice that really does drive why a practice does so well. And so if you're a D3 or a D4, I think if you're a D3, you should highly consider it unless you've already done it. And if you want to do it again, you can. But if you're a D4 and you haven't done it and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I want to own or own at some point in your life, in my opinion, my humble opinion, this is a no-brainer for you. Now, there are a lot of other things you could be doing and learning and other breakaways and shared practices and all that, and I would say do those as well. But I don't think you're going to get a discount like we have here for the moment. It's usually $2,500, and we get it for $300. So it's just a really great resource. Again, it's optional. You don't have to use it, but it is something that I think if you're highly considering it, you should really consider this, because at the end of the academy, I think you really could walk away and go, is this something I really want to do? So much rather do a $300 expense versus a $250,000 loan in a partnership and realize this was the wrong decision. Okay. Last one is the Life in Dentistry Conference. That's actually happening this year in October, which I do have some other stuff that I'm going to talk about that. But SDBO members get a discount. So it's usually $50, and we get it for $25. So again, it's optional. You don't have to go, but if you do want to go, we get a discount, and they'd love to have you there. Membership dues are $80. For those who are like, yes, like I'm already in, you'll see Venmo things on the table that all you have to do is scan it and fill out the information. Obviously, this is where we have our meetings. And here's the list for this year. I'm just going to do a quick breeze through of what it is, what we're going to be doing. So obviously today is Why I Own a Practice. Our next one in September is the Young Dentist Panel. This is basically where we get people who are usually around 5 years out in their practice ownership, and they come and tell us, and we're just like, look, tell us the good, the bad, the ugly. And we just pepper them with questions and learn from their mistakes. The next one is the Future of Dentistry. This is John Harris. He's a coaching, he's a coach consultant from Fortune Management. John has actually spoken with us twice before. He's a great speaker. He tells it like it is. He just lays everything out there. So that is definitely one I would come to for sure. And then we have our own Joe Roberts here. There's no one better in Kentucky to do insurance through. And I think it's one of the things that we honestly forget about a lot of times in dentistry, that not only do you need personal insurance, but you're also just going to be dealing with insurance within your practice that you need to understand. And from a personal side, there's no one better than Joe Roberts. And he's going to be speaking to us. In December, we have Car Real Estate. And Car Real Estate basically is a organization that acts as an intermediary between you, the buyer, and the seller of a practice. And they kind of coach you along, help you in your decisions, and basically can help you negotiate a practice ownership and just considering how important the real estate is if you're going to plan on buying the building and kind of what that looks like, or whether you're leasing and all that. They walk through all of that with you, and Seth's a great guy, so I think that'll be good. Matt Smith, Practice Accounting. This one I think is really going to be a very, very interesting one because I think we're in process right now of him basically bringing a practice of a really nice practice that is okay, how do they do these numbers? And he's going to show us the numbers. We're not going to know who it is, but he's going to show us the numbers, and he's going to walk through like, okay, this is why this can happen for you as a practice ownership. And yeah, Matt's a great guy as well. And then we have IT, Fred Sagister. Obviously, IT is such a big part of our world right now, especially in order to make things efficient and effective, having systems in place so that you're not manually doing everything. You have to have this piece of it. So they come, and they also talk about security a lot, of what we need to know and how to protect ourselves and our patients. Demographics, like I said, they're going to do a resource walkthrough. The resource walkthrough is I think it's actually in February. They're releasing a lot of new features on their software, and they're going to basically come and give us the show of what they changed, what they're updating, and it's just going to be a really cool time. In April, Transition to Ownership. NDP Transitions, again, that's a podcast, but NDP Transitions is a company that basically focuses on if you want to own a practice and you don't know what the next steps are to owning a practice. NDP Transition comes, and I believe we're talking about a discount in the future of working with them that they will help you take each step along the way to get you into the practice. They'll help you talk with the seller. They'll help you negotiate. They'll help you understand if this is a good practice or a bad practice to buy. They'll help you understand how to talk with the bank if you want to talk with them, or they can negotiate for you. So there's a lot of different things that they can do to kind of walk beside you to get you into the saddle. And they're going to be coming in April, and that is strategic for people who are really considering owning. That, hey, here's a great resource that they can help you along the path, and we can connect you with them if this is something you really want to do. And then our last one, our marketing agency, Wondrous. I don't know if you guys have seen Wondrous Agency. You need to get online and check out their stuff. They do great dental websites, and they're going to come speak to us. They're also really, really fun. Love Michael, and we're going to end that last one with a big bang. So if there's one meeting to come to all of them, and then definitely come to the last one because we're going all out. So that's and also all of our sponsors are on the bottom. And to that note, I want to thank our sponsors for tonight, Patterson Dental and also Kane and Waters Partners with Charles Loretto. And these are the ones who have put that on. So let's just give them a round of applause for tonight and thanking them for that. couldn't do it without them, and love working with them. Okay, a little bit more information. If you're really interested in TLP, there's also a Venmo video right here, and it's like a 20-minute video, and they will walk you through kind of step by step what this is going to do. If you are still on the fence, talk with somebody who's done it, and I think the general consensus that we got with the 30 that went through it was basically like, it's really good information, and you're going to learn a lot, but you can't do much with it right now. And that's why I say, if you're a D1 or a D2, like, sure. If you're a D3, highly consider it. If you're a D4 and you're almost out the door, this is something that you can put in your back pocket and literally walk right out the door. So it's very easy for you to implement it as soon as you've learned it. So that's why I say, it's not for everybody, and that's completely okay. It's just a resource that we offer. But if you're a D4, highly, highly consider this. All right, here's the Life in Dentistry Conference. Dr. Justin Moody, Dr. Christine, Mark Costas, Maloney, Laura Malley, she's great, and then Dr. Shanna Hughes. I'm not familiar with her yet, but Life in Dentistry is a podcast. I'm not sure if you guys know Friend Bechtel, who's also co-founder with me for SDBO, and he is part of this group and also part of their podcast. So I think, did somebody say they went to Life in Dentistry Conference? Okay, Emily, yeah. They're a great time. You're going to learn a ton there. Again, these are like people who are consistently changing dentistry every year based off of what they do and what they bring to the table. So definitely want to learn from them.
And Ryan, SDBO members get half off of that.
Yeah, that's the discount. So it was 50, you get it for 25. So if you want to go, once that comes in October, we'll definitely organize kind of our group membership, and then we'll function that money over to them, and you'll have all your gear that you need to get in the door.
Where is that?
Where is that? I want to say it's, do you know, Jim? Campbell House. Yeah, so Campbell House is pretty sweet. Yeah, that'll be a good venue. Does it say that on it? Yeah, it does. Campbell House. So, and I can send this out to everybody as well, this PowerPoint, so you can see what's going on. Okay, so how do I join? If I haven't convinced you by now, I definitely have failed. So, this is the event tonight, but this is the information you really need to know. We are functioning all of our membership signups through Venmo. It is not a personal account. It is a business account. So if you try to search personal, this won't show up. But we are SDBO Chapter 1. And why we're Chapter 1 is that SDBO, just within this last year, became a national chapter. So we now have 4 other chapters in the nation, one in Houston, one in Louisville, and one in Florida. And the cool part about that is the benefits of SDBO are really growing because, like Tiffany alluded to, we're having this transition list. And this transition list is basically every opportunity that we know here, either through SDBO alumni or just alumni at UK, our brokers, our partners and sponsors, anything that we know that is out there as a potential job for you to transition into, we're creating that list. And not only are we creating that list, but every chapter is creating that list. So maybe you don't want to live in Kentucky. Maybe you want to live in Florida. We will reach out for you to the Florida chapter and say, hey, we want the transition list. And you can look at every opportunity in Florida that they know about. Same thing in Houston, same thing. So as SDBO continues to grow, we really will create our own, I'm not going to say brokerage firm, but opportunity list to basically transition right into your practice ownership or some opportunity. That list is not just ownership. It may be associates. It may be, it's going to have everything on it because we know everybody's situation is different, and maybe it's not going to happen right now, but hopefully it'll happen down the road. All right. Oh, forgot to say that. Name, phone number, T-shirt size, your Gmail account, and then whether you want to do TLP Academy or not. So that's really what you need to do. Our membership sign-up ends in August, but you're going to want to get in sooner than later, just because that makes it easier on us, honestly. So yeah, any questions before I bring up our main speaker? I did that good? Sweet. Alrighty. Well, with no further ado, I'm going to switch to PowerPoint and welcome Charles Loretto to the stage. Everybody give me a big fan.